Activision actually takes down my Call of Duty posts fairly often. They do not play around. I mean, Voidglitch himself knows his shit gets taken down by other game companies, so why is the Warframe community so surprised when DE does it? Alright, so to be honest with you, I was not planning on making this video. I had heard whispers on the wind about this happening through other content creators a couple weeks back. However, I figured it wasn't any of my business, until of course Quiet released her video and suggested that I do the same, sharing my perspective. So, here we are. Admittedly, this video was going to be something completely different when I first started scripting, something fairly neutral focusing on the positive changes that DE is going to be making in response to the DE versus Datamine controversy. But slowly as I did my research, checked my receipts, and drank enough coffee to stay woke, I got mad. Incredibly mad. Mad that our community is being lied to and manipulated. The fact is, the guilty party knows they're guilty, has admitted their guilt, and yet somehow people are still acting like lemmings, villainizing DE when the bad guy has already stepped forward. So today on the rare unicorn that is the Warframe editorial, we're going to be taking a look at Voidglitch and where it all went wrong. Now, before we get started, because I know y'all are going to try to paint me as something that I'm not, it is no secret that I've been pushing for DE to be more transparent about their information, a fact that I made very clear on last year's TennoCon panel.
If there was any way we could get more transparency on how certain things worked, like maybe, because there's a lot of times that we spend playtesting trying to figure out how a mechanic works, but if there was like a little button that says like expand, and it would kind of like tell you all of the information, how an ability works, or things like the dual tox assist, when they have their abilities, we'd be able to expand on that and be able to tell us what the actual abilities are, right? Instead of sitting there, is this worth it? Like, I don't know, is it good? But so that's what I'd like to see.
Fair enough. So you want a little bit more explanation so you don't have to dig as hard as you might have to find some stuff out.
But you know, that wasn't the clip that all the drama channels wanted to show you. Regardless, I am a big supporter of getting the information out to the masses, but specifically on DE's terms. Which makes me very happy to see that DE is taking steps towards providing us information for drop percentages as well as exalted weapon stats on top of the info they've already provided on alternate fire for some weapons. I'll leave you guys a link for that in a pinned comment below. Also note that the comments will be heavily monitored at this time. It is late, I am cranky, and not a single soul is paying me to be nice to y'all. So if you can't be respectful in the comments, don't leave a comment in the first place. Now, as many of you know, Voidglitch is a well-known data miner that has been digging through DE's client-side files for quite a while, giving us a lot of great info that had remained hidden in-game, which elicited several positive changes for the player base. On the other end of the spectrum, he's also responsible for data mining primes, leaking voice lines as well as scripts from upcoming events, and of course the issue with Umbra and Prime Streamline. But we'll get to that juicy bit in a second. On June 9th, he received a legal letter from lawyers representing Digital Extremes in regard to the termination of his data mining activities. The letter requested that he take down any data mine content that he had uploaded and to discontinue publishing said content in the future. If not, it was plausible for DE to take legal action. Now, in QuietShy's video, he claims only when Excalibur, Umbra, and Prime Streamline scandals occurred was when they prompted me to stop from participating in my activities. The thing is though, I was not the individual or individuals responsible for these two scandals. In this case, I was directly targeted for something I was not involved in. However, in this statement during an interview, Void is asked, so what happened was some individuals got access to this locked content illegitimately, screenshots were taken, and because you had data mined this information, you were sent a legal letter despite not being involved, not sharing your tech needs, and not condoning the actions. To which Void responds, yes. Now, if anything, this is pure confirmation that he did data mine the info on those items. Without him shining a light on the existence of Umbra and Prime Streamline, there wouldn't have been any incentive for people to go looking for them. He legitimately admitted to being the root of the entire issue. Now, clearly, data mining does not equate hacking, which he states repeatedly. But last time I checked, the letter did not address hacks, but specifically asked him to cease sharing data mined information. Furthermore, in his Reddit AMA posted 1 month ago, he states, the Excalibur Umbra leak was not a bug or a glitch. It was done for testing purposes, but I will not openly explain these for security reasons. Now, curiously, the statement continues the narrative that he was involved in some way. Before they sent him the letter, at no point does he deny his involvement when responding, but instead goes as far as claiming to know the process behind obtaining this information and is fully aware that it could be a breach of security. What's interesting with this AMA statement is that he sounds like he's very aware of the testing purposes, But flash forward to his interview, he claims, "I do not have my head wrapped around the entire process myself." So either he is feigning innocence in order to get the pity vote, or he lied about it originally to make it seem like he was a part of the cool kid group that was involved with the incident. Regardless, there is something shady going on. Furthermore, he's also claimed that all of his data was obtained through client-side packets, which apparently is available for everyone to tinker with. However, in that very same AMA, he states the majority of it is extracted from the Warframe client, which is local, but in some instances, information can only be pulled from the server. Note that he did go through the extra trouble of bolding majority. Now, I don't know jack shit about this kind of information, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But last time I checked, hacking meant that you were going into places that you weren't allowed to go, like DE's servers. Client-side files are fair game for sure, however, this implies that a majority of what he does is fair game, but on the rare occasion, he will go server-side. Again, this is just analysis of the statements he's made. All of this just could have been one big lie that he posted to make it seem like he's got a massive e-peen on Reddit. Regardless, it was these kinds of posts where he painted a big red target on his back. And the thing is, he knew it. In his AMA, he was asked, "Aren't you scared that DE might take actions, legal or any other kind, against you for data mining?" To which he responded, "Scared isn't exactly the right word for how I feel. I would say confused that they haven't already." If you guys aren't aware, he was told that if he continued posting data mines, that he would be kicked out of the design council, which I'd personally consider to be warning shot number 1. Warning shot number 2 would have been when his butt actually got kicked out of design council. Warning shot 3 is a little bit of a stretch admittedly, but when he posted spoilers for The War Within on his site, DE responded by pleading for us not to spoil it for ourselves. You can hear the distress in their response saying, "There is no soul living in these links, no guarantee of finality or accuracy, just deprivation of an experience that everyone has vocalized the demand for." Clearly, they were not happy about this. This was no longer just info on drop rates. For someone who had been previously warned, why push the boundaries even further with leaking mods, prime, storylines, Umbra? You want to help keep DE honest about drop rates? Great, do that. But do you really need to publicly post the rest? So, I don't understand why anyone was surprised when the legal letter finally came, which, by the way, some people say may not be a cease and desist, but instead a precursor to a cease and desist. I mean, Voidglitch stated himself that he was surprised it didn't happen sooner, and I want to stress this. A legal letter is not action, but it's actually another warning. Literally, they gave him 4 strikes, like a fucking bonus Canadian strike. In the US, we do 3 strikes and your ass is out. Now, I'm not going to take away the fact that he did provide a service for the community, but he did do it at a cost to DE. The thing that pisses me off the most is the fact that no one is making note that DE literally allowed this guy to continuously break terms of service, spoil new releases, and leak major quests that they had been working for months on, all because they wanted us to have the information that they were incapable of providing at that time. Yet somehow, DE is painted as dishonest? I mean, Voidglitch literally said it himself. Activision actually takes down my Call of Duty posts fairly often. They do not play around. Clearly, developers have the power to take down posts if they wanted to, but instead DE let this kid continuously ravage their files so that we knew what was going on in game, and yet they are being portrayed as the villain? And at the end of the day, this is DE's intellectual property. It's DE's servers that are hosting all of our information. It's DE's employees that are busting their butt to create the next experience for us, yet he calls them lazy? After DE just streamed to midnight earning $17,000 for St. Jude's charity on top of all of the work that they had from earlier that day? Let's all be real here. After mama comes home from work, puts dinner on the table for you, washes your laundry, and plans you a big ass party, the last fucking thing you do is call her lazy because she didn't have time to help you with your homework. Baby boy, you need to put that 17-year-old entitlement aside. And before I close this out, let me remind you, they may be cheering for you on Reddit, but Reddit wasn't even smart enough to research its own Reddit to double check the facts. Okay, let's see if I can't close this out in a positive light, because let's all be real here, this was a clusterfuck. First off, I'm glad that it's done. There are segments of our community that are extremely volatile and will grab onto any scrap of information, may it be incomplete, inaccurate of the final product or taken completely out of context, and go on a tirade because of their assumptions of what it means for the game, and in turn causes pointless waves in our community. Secondly, this pushes DE to provide further transparency with tools that should directly pull the information from the live game, allowing the entire player base to look at drop rates and other hidden statistics that would be a benefit to the community. This would make holding DE accountable available to everyone, getting them more eyes on potential problems for them to fix. And lastly, we are at a much lower risk for spoilers and leaks. With DE in control of what they release, they can provide us with the untarnished experiences that we have been asking for. For once, we won't have to dodge titles and forum threads on leaks, avert our eyes from rogue tweets about spoilers, or worry about content creators pushing out inaccurate data mined info, causing an uproar about power creep or mastery fodder in the community. The fact is, this is DE's intellectual property, and I'm glad to see them take the reins on it. Let's be real, if you forget to lock your doors, it doesn't mean that it's okay for someone to trespass onto your property and rifle through your personal belongings. Even in public property, you have to ensure that you are not disturbing the peace or interfering with those around you. Right of access does not confer immunity from liability if your conduct is disruptive. Regardless, what's done is done. Void is now free to focus his attention towards bigger and better things rather than data mining, which I'm sure he will be very successful at. And DE is on its way to create more transparency of information, which will save a lot of the community the time and exhaustion of trying to figure out the status chance on an exalted weapon. So that about does it. Choose your words carefully in the comment section below, but feel free to unsub if you find it necessary. I am more worried about giving you perspective than jumping onto some bandwagon where the blind are leading the blind. It's called integrity, honey. I do apologize, however, for this not being happier in tone. I will get you with something that leaves you feeling good on the next round. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo butt. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Now, before I go, I wanted to do a little bit of an addendum because something happened last night that left me feeling, like, real good. I was like, holy shit. Holy fucking shit. So I was sitting in a call with another content creator friend of mine, and we were just talking about the whole situation, and they were actually watching a video from another content creator who, like, was threatening to leave Warframe if his demands weren't met. Anyway, but yeah, so he basically was reading me some of the funny comments back because, you know, they were getting slayed in the comments, and I was like, alright. So he went ahead and started reading me one. I was like, just link it to me. So he went ahead and he sent me the link, and I was like, holy shit! I know this guy. He is from my community. Like, I know that icon. I know that face. I was like, holy shit, that is one of ours. And can I just tell you right now, I'm such a motherfucking proud mama, because it wasn't just like some dumb, like, idiotic response. It was well thought out, well crafted. It was just, I say this all the time, like, y'all know I'm mildly, like, crazy. But you guys are so witty, you guys are so funny, you guys are so smart, and you guys have a lot of common sense built into you, and I absolutely fucking love that about my community. It's not this weird bandwagon, it's not just like some brainwashing that's going on and people just jumping on board to the mob mentality. Like, this was like thought out and well spoken, and I'm like, man, I would have just called him a bitch and moved the fuck on. I was like, y'all is classy. You are classy. So can I just reach out to my community and say thank you so much. I am so proud of you. I am proud to be a part of your community. Or our community. This community. Not the dumb communities out there, but like this happy family that we've got going on. So thank you so much. I am proud and I feel absolutely blessed with this. Anyway, you guys take care. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.